What?
The marijuana, they called me and let me in. The God building on the east side. Tokyo Mini Market. I need a letter for recognition.
Yeah, you can put that in, what you do.
Okay, well, email me, let me know what you need, because I
What do you need?
We're gonna do it soon. That's my point.
Letter of support.
Thursday.
Yeah, kids, I need you too.
Yeah, me too.
Send me a message. I got you. That's a cute shirt. Lakeisha, is that a sweater?
That sounds good.
I did, thank you.
We need to get together here on Friday.
I got your email.
What you got, Rich?
You need to do that.
You know my eyes is bad.
Oh my goodness.
This week was filled up.
I know. I'm Zuma.
I'm looking at a building for you, and I'm looking at a building for him. For the marijuana thing that you asked me for,
The cannabis.
yeah, they gave me. Yeah. They need the recommendation.
I always plan on going somewhere.
Tomorrow, I'm looking at it tomorrow on 12th in South Grand, and I'm looking for the building on Jackson in Village.
We saw this the other week.
It's 5:30, and we're going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderman Redpath.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Fulgenzi.
Here.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Here.
Alderwoman DeCenso.
Present.
Alderman McMenamin.
Here.
Alderwoman Conley.
present.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, a quorum is present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'll accept a motion for the approval of the January 25th, 2022 committee meeting minutes.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Madam Treasurer, do you have any report?
Yes, Chair Redpath, I do. The corporate fund in the month of January had a beginning balance of $45,700,471. We took in total receipts of $10,751,981. We had total disbursements in the month of January of $8,235,871, which left the corporate fund with an ending balance in the month of January of $48,216,581. Of that balance, Chair Redpath, the ending balance of the ARPA money in the month of January would have been $14,587,007. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Treasurer, is there any question? What's the matter?
Sorry.
Keep it down over there, girl. Is there any questions on the OBM report?
Chair?
Hearing none. We have no,
Yo, there is a question.
go ahead.
Yeah, do we have Amanda Long here tonight?
I can't.
Who should I direct my questions to?
I will help you. I've been checking.
Bill's right here.
Okay, thank you.
I'll try to answer, but if not, I'll get you the answer.
Okay, and sorry, let me just pull it up real quickly. I didn't expect the chair to be moving that fast. Actually, you know what, why don't I email them to you?
Sure.
That's probably easier.
Yeah, no, we'll get you an answer right away.
Thank you, yeah, I'll just send it to you.
Good? Okay. There's no presentations. We'll move to ordinances tabled and remaining committee. Mr. Clerk, would you please read those ordinances?
Yes, sir. 2021-336, 2021-337, 2021-370, 2022-005.
Is there anyone who wants to address any of those ordinances?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll move on to ordinances for committee consideration.
CWLP 2022-021, an ordinance accepting bid and authorizing execution of contract UE 22-12-72 explosive blasting for the Dolman Power Plant with Rocky Mountain Specialty Services, LLC, in an amount not to exceed $360,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to put 2022-021 on the council for consent agenda discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-022, an ordinance accepting the bid and authorizing contract UE 22-12-73 generating facilities cleaning services with Bodine Services of Decatur Incorporated, doing business as EnviroServe as an amount not to exceed $750,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we send 2022-022 on to the council. Do pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-023, an ordinance accepting proposal number UE 22-04 with Hayes Mechanical LLC for emergency boiler and equipment repairs for a 3-year time period in an amount not to exceed $12 million for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move for consent.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we send 2022-023 on to the council. Do pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion?
Discussion, Mr. Chair.
Alderman McMenamin.
So this is a contract for $12 million, and it's a 3-year contract. And we last had a contract, I'm just trying to see if there's been how much this contract has moved around compared to the previous period. Could you comment on that?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember what the exact number was. I've been involved in this portion of the contract since about 2004, doing it multiple different ways with different council and different mayor and different things they want. Last time we brought this forward, it was less. I don't remember the exact number though, but we did it in stages. Instead of a 3-year contract, we brought 1 year at a time. And our estimate for the first year, so what this includes is outage work we know is gonna happen, then an estimate for emergency repairs that we don't know, we just know over the years approximately what we spend. So that's what the 12 million is for. The last contract, it expires, the current one we're under expires February 28th. There is, I have to get exact numbers, but there's a significant amount of money left on it. The first year, when we brought our estimate together, the first year, that contract actually, or that authority to spend that money lasted almost 18 months. So we estimate a little heavy, but we won't spend it unless we absolutely have to.
Yeah, Michelle Carlisle does a good job writing up these contracts and the analysis, and it looks, after City Council Coordinator Tim Griffin pointed out, it looks like the last contract was for a 3-year period at $7 million, and that's in the prior ordinance information line, and so this one is at $12 million for the same period of time. And I realize this was, we did request for proposals, so there was some competition of one kind or another. So I just wanted to hear your comments about the escalation in the price.
Some of it's labor, some of, this includes material. So again, with supply chain, I know some of the material costs have gone up.
And this is an estimation about what we might use if we have to use.
Yep. And like I said, last 3 years ago, when we first brought this up, we split it up. We went for 1 year. That 1 year ended up lasting almost 18 months. We came back with another one, and there's still money left on it.
Thank you. It's a big ticket item, so I just wanted to hear. Thank you.
I understand.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-024, an ordinance authorizing payment of membership dues to the American Public Power Association in an amount of $61,216.80 for the Office of Public Utilities.
For consent.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we send 2022-024 on to the council. Do pass recommendation for consent agenda. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-025, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of chemical for mercury capture and removal of Dahlman Unit 4 from Nalco Company, LLC, in an amount not to exceed $4,212,000 and $212,225 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, we send 2022-025 on to the council. Do pass recommendation for consent agenda. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
Public Works, 2022-026, an ordinance authorizing execution of a contract for purchase or sale of real estate with Bando Properties, LLC, in an amount of $75,000 and closing costs in the amount of $2,000 for a total amount not to exceed $77,000 for the properties located at 302, 304, and 306 East Washington Street.
Move to consent.
Second.
Moved and seconded, we send 2022-026 on the council. Do pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-027, an ordinance authorizing the exchange of real estate between the City of Springfield and St. John's Hospital of Hospital Sisters of the Third Order of St. Francis, authorizing the vacation of right-of-way and granting the easements in J. Whitney's addition and Wells Peck's addition to the City of Springfield relating to the usable segment 3 of the Springfield Rail Improvement Project.
Motion for consent.
It's been moved and seconded. We send 2022-027 on the council due pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, this one, if you wouldn't mind, needs to be held till the next meeting. This requires a publication for public hearing because of the vacation of right-of-way. And so that timeframe will not have expired by the time that the city council meets next week.
We'll hold this one.
What
For
about the
just 2
next
weeks.
one?
Yeah, what about the next one?
Yeah, correct.
One as well?
It would be only the ones related to the, no, it's just the first one, because that relates to the vacating of the right-of-way. By the statute, we have to give a minimum 15-day notice.
We'll hold this one, Mr. Clerk. Go ahead.
Noted. 2022-028, an ordinance authorizing execution of an agreement with St. John's Hospital of Hospital Sisters of the Third Order of St. Francis to engineer, relocate, and reconstruct portions of their electrical facilities, appurtenances, and duct banks related to the construction of usable segment 3 of the Springfield Rail Improvement Projects in the amount not to exceed $1,150,000 for the Office of Public Works.
Move consent.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We send 2022-028 on the council due pass recommendation for consent agenda. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-029, an ordinance accepting the lowest responsible bid and authorizing execution of contract number PW 22-12-74 with Coach Air LLC to provide air-cooled water chillers for the Municipal Center East in an amount not to exceed $298,141 for the Office of Public Works.
Entertain a motion.
Second.
With consent. It's been moved and seconded. We send 2022-029 on the council due pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-030, an ordinance authorizing execution of an agreement with the payment in the amount not to exceed $126,546 to WHKS and Company Engineering for construction engineering services for the Churchill Road Bridge over the Jacksonville Branch MFT Section 17-00487-00-BR SN 084-60000 for the Office of Public Works.
Motion for consent.
Been moved and seconded. We send 2022-030 to the council with a due pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
General City Business, 2022-031, an ordinance authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $125,000 for the Springfield Police Department.
Move to consent.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We send 2022-031 on to the council due pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion?
Discussion.
Alderman Hanauer.
Real quick, was this figured in on our fund balance for the start of the budget? I think I've asked this question before, but. So the start of our fund balance, basically, will this affect next year's ending fund balance?
I don't
Because we're
have
dropping
the,
the fund.
yeah, I don't have the agenda in front of me, but isn't this
police.
125 for restricted funds?
It's 071.
This isn't corporate.
This isn't corporate? Okay, my
The
bad.
next one is, though, and no, it was not.
Well, get ready, I'll ask you the same question. No? Okay,
not, because this came up after.
okay.
Any other discussion? Alderman McMenamin.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Chief, could you explain what this money goes towards?
Sure, so account 071 is, it's just a pass-through account, it's restricted funds. Essentially, it's an escrow account that is controlled by state law, so when we do certain investigations and end up seizing funds that are awarded to us through the state, they go into this account, and then they're ultimately, as a result of the award by the judge, they're then paid out to various law enforcement agencies. So we've got more than $500,000 of cash in the account. We only asked for $125,000 in appropriation, if I'm saying that right, funds to be able to spend. Just, the account's very volatile. We don't know how much we're going to take in throughout the course of a year, so we just kind of guesstimate 125, but there's.
So you're looking for approval to pay out these monies to certain law enforcement entities that have been awarded these funds because of certain judicial proceedings and that kind of thing?
Yes, sir, that's
Okay,
correct.
thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-032, an ordinance accepting RFP CS 22-28, authorizing a 3-year contract with Lauterbach and Amen LLP to perform the city's annual audits for fiscal years 2023 through 2024 from February 28, 2022 through February 29, 2024 for an amount not to exceed $175,425 for the Office of Budget and Management.
Move to consent.
Second. Been moved and second. We send 2022-032 on to the council with due pass recommendation for the consent agenda discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-033, a resolution referring a petition to the Springfield Planning and Zoning Commission for public hearing and consideration for proposing an amendment to Chapter 155, Sections 155.496 and 155.497 for the 1988 City of Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended pertaining to cannabis organizations modifying separation provisions.
Entertain a motion.
Second.
What was the motion? I'm
Which
sorry.
one is it?
It's been moved and second. We send 2022-033 on to the council due pass recommendation for the debate agenda discussion.
Discussion, Mr. Chair.
Alderman McMiniman.
I see that Alderman Gregory and Alderman Williams are sponsoring. Could you explain what this ordinance will do?
Yes, Mr. Clerk, if you can note that on, that
Noted.
sponsors. So this is going to my ward. Basically, it's project specific. I only agreed to this because it's dealing with footage, 2,500 versus the 1,500 that Mr. Johnson, I don't know, a few weeks back came and addressed to us and talked to us about, met with the mayor and corporate counsel. We went over. Of course, I drove the area and looked at things. So all this is doing, this is just a resolution piece right here. But basically, when it goes through the process, it's only going to be impacting this one particular project, not changing the footage for the whole area. It'll still be the same. Just, if that helps. If not, I'm going to have to ask corporate counsel to chime in and, clarify.
Alderman Hanauer.
Well,
anything you
why
may
don't you
know.
let Sean
Go ahead, Alderman Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this came about as you know, the boundaries that we set are a little bit more strict than the state guidelines. The state guidelines don't require 1,500 feet. They only require 1,000. For this, like Alderman Williams was saying, it is project specific. He is in a time crunch to get this project done. It's over in the Dirksen Parkway Business District area, and these adjustments need to be made for him to have this one business. It's a craft grow type of situation, and in other communities, they have made some provisions for communities where it is hard to get these businesses in. So this is what we did instead of trying to change the whole thing due to time sakes. But we do need to probably address it in the future and really look at it so we can find some equity in this industry.
Alderman Hanauer.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and this looks like it affects the whole city, and it's not, I don't see anywhere where it's just specific to this one area. And then the other concern is it talks about, I'm not sure, basically what it does is it withdraws the restrictions on I-1 and I-2. And I don't see where it's, I don't know, Corporation Counsel, I guess that'd be your answer. You're going to have to tell us that, but I don't see it that way, and so that would affect the whole city, and I can't support that in my ward.
You may recall that the council had adopted changes to the zoning code, a couple of different sets of changes relating to cannabis in light of the state law revisions. This resolution is referring a proposed amendment to the Planning Commission, which then comes back to the council to be voted on. The effect is to allow a petitioner to ask for a variance. The current ordinance does not allow a petitioner to ask for a variance. So it does not change any separation provisions. It simply allows a petitioner presenting certain circumstances to ask for a variance in this particular set of circumstances. This is actually in an industrial area, but there are some residences within that distance that's provided for the current separation. So this resolution only allows a petitioner to ask for a variance. It doesn't grant the variance, it doesn't make the change to the separation. And if you recall, the way the process works is the city council refers a resolution, planning commission reviews it, makes a recommendation on whether the amendment should be adopted. It'll come back to the city council for a final vote.
Alderman Donlin,
To answer my question, thank you.
any other discussion? It's been moved and seconded to send 2022-033 onto the council for the debate agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-034, an ordinance declaring fire truck 16 and fire truck 17 to be surplus property, disposal of said property by donation, and authorizing the execution of an agreement with Elizabethtown Fire Protection District for donation of said property.
Motion for consent.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to send 2022-034 under the council due pass recommendation for consent agenda. Discussion.
Yes.
Alderman
So-
Gregg, Alderman Williams.
I just wanted to get an understanding on, in view of the fire report and the budget, when we say surplus, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to, give you firehouses and engines. And then I see this, unless I'm misunderstanding it, is it that this equipment is so old that we don't use it, or we?
Both 034 and 035, they were triplets. They're 1994 Luvernes, 28-year-old apparatus that were no longer serviceable. And not roadworthy either.
Okay.
That's why one of them is being sent to CACC. They're going to leave it in place, use it to teach how to use the pump, do some hose evolutions, that kind of stuff. It was no good for, we tried to sell them, and one of the websites wouldn't even let us put it on their website.
Well, yeah, so that answered my question. It's going to be used for training or some other things, because I was like, wait, if somebody else can use it, we can still be using it, because as you know, like I said, we're dealing with firehouses and equipment for the department as it is.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
And the one for CACC also will be
Same
used
thing.
by our, will be used by our Explorers as well, which we utilize to try and, as a feeder to get people to work for us that are city residents too, so.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-035, an ordinance declaring fire truck 15 to be surplus property, disposal of said property by donation, and authorizing the execution of an agreement with Capital Area Career Center Fire Science Program for donation of said property.
Motion for consent.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We send 2022-035 on to the council due pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-036, an ordinance authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $1,500,000 for the Springfield Fire Department.
Move for consent.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Send 2022-036 on to the council with due pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-037, an ordinance authorizing execution of an agreement with Central Illinois Communications, doing business as Illinois Times, for the design, printing, content creation, and distribution of the 2022 Visitors Guide in the amount not to exceed $73,300 for the Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Motion for consent. Second.
Been moved and seconded. We send 2022-037 on to the council due pass recommendation for the consent agenda. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-038, annual appropriation ordinance for the city of Springfield, Illinois for this fiscal year beginning March 1st, 2022 and ending February 28th, 2023.
Move for debate.
It's been moved and seconded. Send 2022-038 on to the council due pass recommendation for the debate agenda. Discussion. Alderman Conley.
Thank you. So if we're going to be voting on this next Tuesday, we do not have a whole lot of extra time for amendments, is that correct?
Correct.
Because I think last night we were saying next Friday, but that's not going to work, is it?
Yeah, that's true, unless you do what we've done in the past. If you want more time for amendments and for consideration, you can just work with the mayor to schedule a special meeting for passage of the budget, which we've done a few times.
Okay, thank you. Just want to be clear, everyone gets their amendments in.
Mr.
Alderman
Chair,
Donlin.
if I can, just to follow up on that, the next week, so 2 weeks from tonight, we have committee, right?
2 weeks from tonight, we'll have committee, yes.
So we'll be here anyway, so that is, okay, thank you. Just
Correct.
Any
Next
further
week is the
discussion?
public hearing, correct?
Go ahead.
Yes, next week is a scheduled public hearing, that is correct.
And those are published, so we'll
Yep.
have them, but that doesn't mean you have to take action
Yep.
that very day.
Yep, you can still have the public hearing, and
That is
people can
correct.
come up and they can speak at the public hearing, and then you still can do amendments and take further action later.
Thank you.
We want to, I'm sorry.
Alderman Hatnar.
Do we want to go ahead and set a special meeting? Because there's no way we'll be ready for Tuesday.
I think it's a
I
good
think it's a
idea.
great idea.
I think let's just go ahead and set a special meeting for before the, what's the date on that, Jim?
Tuesday, this 22nd.
The 22nd. Set a special meeting and for the purpose of passing the budget.
And we do that prior or after the committee meeting? Is that on Tuesday?
I think the proper way to do that, I think, is to maybe do that actually at the council meeting. I mean, we can go ahead and publish, in other words, we can post a
Right.
notice for open meetings. And, any three aldermen can call a special meeting. So we'll just assume it'll happen that date. Normally, committee would not set a special council meeting date. And usually, council meeting sets council meeting. See what I mean?
Fair enough.
So, but we can simply plan on, and the clerk, we will make sure it gets posted for that date.
Thank you.
5 o'clock,
Well,
early or just the same time?
Can you just say immediately following the committee meeting?
Certainly, you can say, or right at
before, why don't we
5:30,
do it before?
or immediately following is fine.
If I may, in the past, we usually done those first at 5:30, and then we've gone into committee after that.
So if the council's in agreement, it'll be at 5:30 and the meeting will follow.
Immediately following upon adjournment. Yep, okay.
Any further discussion?
Just for the council, we're already starting to get a few amendments, so if anybody wants any amendments for consideration or discussion on Tuesday, just get them if you can get it to us by Monday, we can have them ready for you for Tuesday.
So can we get a running list of amendments that have been requested?
Sure, yeah, we can do
Provide
that.
As they come in, just make sure that we
Sure.
know what else is being done.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can do
thank
that. No problem. I'll just send it to Tim, and he can send it out to
That'd be
everybody. Maybe I'll
perfect.
just do a daily update or something.
you. Perfect, thank you.
Sure.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-039, an ordinance approving the reappointments of Michael P. Murphy, Melinda Beagles-Mons, Jean Bruner Giacchino, Karen Kahn, Darren Dane, Timothy Good, Adrian Hood, Jay Kitterman, Sonia Perkins, Katie Sheehan, Leslie Scrow to the Springfield Convention and Visitors Advisory Board.
Move for debate.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to send 2022-039 on to the council due pass recommendation for the debate agenda discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-040, an ordinance approving the appointment of Kenneth W. Scarlett Jr. as Chief of the Springfield Police Department.
Move for consent.
Second.
Don't we want to hold this?
Yeah, I was going to ask him, you've had it for a week. You sure you want this?
It's been moved and seconded. We send
I think this has gotta go on
2022-040
debate.
on to the council with due pass recommendation. Discussion?
Yeah, debate.
Debate.
That's fine.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, Alderman McMillan.
Chief, can you come forward?
Joe, can you speak up? I can't hear you over there.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you to comment on this, but just make a request that there's been a lot of attention given to the front page of the Illinois Times story that came out with the snow delay. I think it came out Friday or Saturday. And that story goes in 10 different directions in different ways. And perhaps you'll want to maybe discuss that situation in executive session with the city council at an appropriate time.
Yeah, I think that's something I would confer with Corporation Council on, but it's certainly something that we can do. There's personnel matters involved, and I think it's important that we respect our employees and their privacy and whatnot. Yes.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-041, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of three 2022 Ford Police Interceptor utility gasoline vehicles from Morrow Brothers Ford Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $140,000 to $25 under state contract number 19-416 CMS-BOSS-P 2022-11453 for the Springfield Police Department.
For consent.
Second.
Been moved and second, we send 2022-041 on to the council with due pass recommendation for the consent agenda discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-042, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of 7 2022 Ford Police Interceptor utility gasoline vehicles from Morrow Brothers Ford Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $329,000 under state contract number 19-416-CMS-BOSS-11453 and authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the amount not to exceed $329,000 for the Springfield Police Department.
Motion for consent.
Second.
Moved and second, we send 2022-042 on to the council with due pass recommendation for the consent agenda discussion.
Quick question.
Alderman
please.
Conley.
Yes, Chief, if you could answer, does this price include the dual air conditioning for the K-9 units? I wasn't quite clear from the description of the ordinance.
Yeah, so there's, we have the opportunity to get 9 vehicles, and I believe 5 of those will be outfitted with the dual air conditioning for the K-9 units.
Okay, so that is included in the price?
That's
Wonderful. Good, thank you very much.
Any further discussions? Alderman Gregory.
So, is this a special, like little thing to help the dogs in the back? Because I would be concerned about anybody's in the back as well, people-wise.
Yeah, so it's my understanding they recommend the dual air conditioning system for the canine specifically because of their fur and their coat and how they handle the heat. Adult or individuals that sit in the back seat are a little more adaptive to the environment conditions.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
2022-043, an ordinance to increase the number of Class A liquor licenses by one for Replay Lounge Incorporated, doing business as Replay Lounge for the business located at 217 South Fifth Street.
Motion for consent.
Second.
The second, we send 2022-043 on to the council with due pass recommendation for consent agenda discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it.
Noted.
Mr. Clerk, is there any unfinished business come before the council? Alderman McMenamin.
Mr. Chair, we've already had the fire department budget presentation. In the course of that presentation, several aldermen became interested in what equipment and needs may exist for the fire department. And our mayor requested Fire Chief Blau to review that situation, and I believe Chief Blau has got some information he wishes to share with us tonight.
Thank you. Within my short tenure, obviously, of doing this, obviously, I'm acutely aware of especially apparatus needs that we have with significant, as we showed in our presentation at the budget time, that we have several apparatus that are over 15 years old. Once we received the report, it spelled out that their recommendations for best practices was for us to diminish that to zero if at all possible. Obviously, that's a tall order. That's asking for a lot of money. I think that the total extra money when we went for our initial budget discussions with Director McCarty was like $100,000 in light of last year and we don't like to come and ask for too much, but in light of this, I've talked to a couple of people and they asked us to put something together. Division Chief Mike Abbott is our apparatus specialist. The best case scenario that we could put together, and he's spoken to 2 separate apparatus companies. They both are going to be pretty close. One of them is Pierce, who one of the reasons why most of the fire trucks that are rolling down the street are Pierce is because the mechanics, our technicians that work in fleet maintenance are Pierce experts. That's one of the reasons why we've stayed with them. They've also made a due course of making good discounts for us to make sure that we're taking care of the people's money for it too. We have another company that we're also getting quotes from to make sure that we're doing the best thing for the city. in our first look at this, we can purchase 6 engines and 1 truck in one purchase for about $5.5 to $5.6 million. That sounds like a lot of money, and it is. I'm not going to come up here and act like it's not. That will get us really close to where we need to be in line with those best practices that were outlined in that report. One of the reasons why this is the best way for us to purchase this equipment is that we can purchase it all at once. They do give us a significant discount for the pieces of equipment themselves. And then what that also takes into consideration is every year they have a predictive amount of increase that each fire truck is going to go up. And while 3% doesn't sound that much, when you're talking about 3% on top of a $600,000 piece of equipment, it adds up quickly. So when you compound that over the course of 7 years, let's say that we're going to start buying fire trucks 1 every year. You're going to pay 3% extra here, 3% extra here, you're going to pay, by the time that you're done with that, you're paying compounded interest of over 21%, obviously. And actually, with the way that things are working right now, with the our inability to get the resources as far as from the fire trucks with the chips that go into those and just what they need to build those, they're predicting 7% increase next year and the following year. That's a lot of money. By purchasing them now, you get them at today's prices, then we can turn around and either finance those, which is at, in the 2.5% range is what we're hoping to get financing for. We can actually pay for all of the equipment that goes on those, which we generally try and scrape together from the rest of our budget. Over the course of those 7 fire trucks and over those 7 years, we end up saving about between $400,000 and $500,000 by doing it this way. We can then budget on an annual basis, one annual payment of what will probably be $850 to $950 million, or $950 million.
You was about to get no.
Not getting that. $850 to $950,000 a year, which would be an increase of less than 2% of what our annual budget is right now. You want me to answer any questions?
Alderman Donna, go ahead.
Well, Chief, what I was prepared to say until you said that last part was that, now we know the Cadillac version, so let's look at, what other options are. But if you could, though, it would be helpful to me. I heard what you said loud and clear. But if you could put it in an email and send it to Tim, and he'll send it to all of us, I'd like to take a look at it. And the financing aspect does change my perspective a little bit. Like you said, that 5.5, that hits you like a load of bricks.
Right.
But we all know that we're behind in our equipment in the fire department, and something has to be done. Alderman McMiniman and some of the others, we've had conversations about it, and it's something I'd like to see, from before I was even elected and put my hand on the Bible, something I was an advocate of. So you could put together not only what you said just now, but maybe at least 1 or 2 other scenarios for us. That would be helpful.
And it's one of those things where what gets us there the fastest is a plan like this. I realize that not everybody here, nor in other places that have input on this kind of stuff, whether they have an appetite for this. This gets us where we need to go fastest. I think it saves us the most money overall, but we are open to all sorts of different options that help us get where we need to be. And we're hoping to this is a starting point. And if this isn't what works, then absolutely, we will bring you back multiple options, which all of you will have an opportunity to ask us questions on and try and make sure that we get in place the right plan for the city of Springfield.
One of my questions is, have we made a decision on how many firehouses we're going to build?
I think that's more of a question for the mayor and he and Director McCarty, I know, have talked a lot about it. They've asked me for a plan. When I originally put together a plan, I was looking at 2 firehouses. Now I think the more prudent thing to do, what I started working on in the last week, is putting together a 15-year plan, because obviously you can't redo everything at once. There's just, there's too many needs. and it's too much money. So I think that that's something that the mayor and I and Director McCarty and yourselves can get together and figure out what it is a prudent plan. I think that Station 6 and Station 13 are the two that are most pressing. And then there are, then I have delineated, we're going to put scores next to them. We're going to, okay, is this one in the worst shape? Is this one in the worst spot? Which is worse, being in the wrong place or being in disrepair? So I think that that's something that we offer information to the policymakers and to the mayor, and that we should be able to come together with some type of a plan.
See, I think that there's a consensus, and maybe not a consensus, there's some thoughts that are going around that if we don't have to build 4 firehouses, that we might be able to use some of that money for equipment instead of doing the firehouses, doing the extra firehouses. So I just want you to know that's a thought process that we're going through.
Absolutely.
But we know you need fire engines for, and we know that you need the 2, especially the 2 that you're talking about. I know there's been some changes on why we might not need the other ones, but we can discuss that at a further time. But Alderman Hanauer.
Yeah, Chief, on your report, one thing I noticed, once I got back and kind of looked it over, you had some of, you didn't delineate from what's the ones that, the trucks that we had refurbed? What's that do to them? Does that turn the clock back on them?
The refurbishment process does not start the clock back over. And in fact, 2 out of the 3 that have been refurbed were mostly cosmetic. They did not rebuild the engines, they did not rebuild transmissions, they did not rebuild pumps. Those are the things working on a piece of fire apparatus that have to work. A lot of it is now, I mean, if I have any car aficionados there's a frame-off type of deal where they took everything off. They made sure that our frame rails, if they had any rust on them, they knocked that off. They looked at wiring, they looked at hoses, and they looked at piping for the pump. But as far as a rebuilt fire truck, that can be done. And generally speaking, it's kind of cost prohibitive because then you're going to have a 9-year-old truck that you put another $500,000 into.
I guess and how many trucks are you talking about again? 6?
6 engines, 1 truck.
Okay, the question I have is, I remember asking when we were looking to buy a truck, there's other brands, obviously Pierce is the Cadillac brand, and I understand about being able to swap out parts, and you can cut down your parts inventory. But if we're buying so many of one brand, should we maybe look at switching to a lesser cost truck? I mean,
I'm totally open to doing that. When you put stuff out for bid,
and just see what it saves us.
Sure.
I think that's the more important
We are
thing.
talking to at least one other company. I'll tell you this, there's not a lot of Chevys out there anymore. I
Right.
mean, they're all at least Buicks. You aren't gonna, it's not like we're gonna go out there and we're gonna find one for
Right, but
$370,000. They're gonna be similar in price, but I'm more than willing to look into what type of cost savings that we can put in place.
And then the only other question I had, and Chuck, you kind of touched on it, but let's just say we had the 4 firehouses this year, realistically, can we build could we really do 4 firehouses this year? And I don't think we can. I think that, I think it would be hard to so we're putting that much money in towards this year. And I just don't think, I would think if we could get 2 done we'd be lucky. I just don't know that, and I guess that's a question. Can we get 4 built?
It's a big ask. I mean, we're not living in Chicago or St. Louis or New York that has construction companies that take on humongous projects like this every day. I think that getting 2 built would be a major accomplishment. I think doing more of that is going to create complications, but I can't tell you whether it can or can't be done. This is going to be the first time I build a firehouse too. So,
Alderman Gregory, then Alderman Conley.
I just have some quick comments. I agree. I'm interested in helping out the situation with the equipment. I think it's imperative, especially for my ward where I see high EMS calls from the fire department, high fires, it's older structure. So I definitely want to be on top of this. My question is, if we, because I truly think that we probably go with 3. We move the ones that's stuck and covered up, and the one in Panther Creek. Me and Alderman Williams, we go back and forth with that. But I definitely think the southwest corner needs to be covered. So I guess this would be for Director McCarty. If we only do 3 and we budgeted for 4, I believe you said it was $12.5 million we had in the budget for firehouses. Am I correct? I'm getting a little older. My memory's getting better, but.
So we have 12 million in there.
Okay.
For 4 out of ARPA, 8 million out of the corporate fund. Originally, it was slated for 4 firehouses. Now, the issue is, as we go into this process, it appears that the firehouses may be more costly than originally anticipated. So 12 million very well, or 10 or 11 million very well could only cover 3 firehouses.
Right.
We're getting into the process. We've got designs, we're doing surveys, all of that. I think probably some ordinances for land purchases will probably be coming forward. So, yeah, it was originally for 4. I don't know that 12 million will get us 4. And to Alderman Hanauer's point, we probably couldn't build 4, but these things will likely cross fiscal years. So if the mayor and the council agree to build 3, or they agree to build 4, whatever the case may be, we would start construction on 2 of them this year. We've already talked about a timetable for that, hopefully beginning construction this summer, in June or July. Probably 8 months to complete. So you're already gonna, and then what we would do on the other 1 or 2, depending on what is decided, we would start the preliminary processes later in the fiscal year, which we'd start expending money. So that's one of the reasons why all that's in there now is it essentially needs to be in there because we'd be doing something on all those firehouses this year, and then it would also be a placeholder, just so you know. I mean, we could break it up, but if you're going to move forward with it, then you spend that money on something else, then you've got to come up with it next year. If I might, Mr. Chair, talk about your the refurb. He's right. We did 3 refurbs. 2 of them were only cosmetic, which was disappointing, but 1 was a complete rebuild. It was an engine rebuild, or a new engine actually, and a new transmission. Something like that does a lot more to turn back the clock on a rig, and that was engine 9, I believe it was. Is that right, Chief? Engine 9, which was only done in 2016. So what we're hearing, and what I'm told by my fleet mechanics who've been working on these things back when they were still in the fire department, that one is in pretty decent shape right now. It doesn't need to be immediately replaced. I asked them, I talked to the fleet manager earlier in the week, or last week, because of the concern from the mayor and the council I said, give me a full inventory of the apparatus that we have and what you think needs to be replaced. Not what I think, not what people who don't work on them think. I want the people who actually work on them answering this question. Their response, and I meant to bring I'm sitting on the printer, I can send them to you. Their response is they think right now we need to replace 1 truck 3, which is down and decommissioned essentially.
Who are you saying is saying this? I'm sorry, I missed.
The people who work on the trucks, on the fire trucks and the fire engines, and have been for.
So you're relying not on the fire department, but on the people that work for you at Fleet Management. I just want to clarify that.
Yes, the people who we took from the fire department who were working on them long before we got them in the fleet. So one of them actually does it on the side for fire protection districts and everything else.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but I just want to say that that report that we got is very specific, and it says once you get to 15 years, you ought to take them out of service. So I don't know, I think we're kind of mixing hearsay people from your fleet department contradicting a report that we spent $50,000 for.
With all due respect, Alderman, the report talks about a best practice, but sometimes capital constraints mean you can't do best practices. We all want to drive the best. Nate just told me he'd love to have 7 more tandem trucks, but constraints are constraints. What I wanted to say just really quick, though, is that what they're recommending is 2 engine replacements and a truck replacement. We've already got 1 truck and 1 engine on order. And the mayor has indicated that we will be and we have already done it actually, an amendment to add an engine to next year's budget as well, so that we come in line with the recommendations of the experts who work on the vehicles. And then next year, we are already planning, as we've talked about before, to do another loan program with dedicated funds that are already in place that we know are going to be there. And then we'll be getting another couple engines at that point in time as well. So we are well on our way. One of the mayor's concerns is, we talked about it, is dedicating a large lump of capital out into the future. I just spoke with him before I came up here. Because it doesn't have a dedicated revenue source like we do with the loan replacement programs. We know we have some extra funds and fund balance to add that engine. We're doing what the recommendation is of the people who work on them, and then we want to just continually add year after year as we know what kind of position we're in, because I know that we always have these conversations. For instance, you two asking last night for the 2-year out projection, which I'll have to you tomorrow, by the way. That way you just have a much better idea of where you are, and you're not trying to guess where you're going to be 5 years, 6 years from now. So
this is a process that's going to take a long time. The mayor, the chief, and probably along with the mechanics are going to make those decisions, and they're going to come back to us. It really, a lot of it is based on how many firehouses we decide we're going to build. That's going to be a big deal. So that's where we're at. So with that, I'll go to Alderman Conley.
Thank you. This is for Chief.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So Chief, obviously you have a lot of moving parts to be looking at here. Have you also looked at the lease option? Because that was something that was brought up. I just didn't know.
I don't think that, you did? Okay. Well, he's my resident expert. He's been doing, Chief Abbott has been doing all the legwork on that. If you've got information on it, by all means, come up and take the spotlight off me.
Thank you. You can stay in the spotlight if you want to.
Spotlight off you. I did talk to one of the vendors about the lease purchase program. He cautioned us, he was getting us information in regards to it, but he cautioned us as well that some of these companies that deal with lease purchasing will restrict you at the time of the lease ending into repurchasing their specific brand. So in a situation where we would get vehicle A and then after a 7-year time period determine, hey, this vehicle was not effective for the Springfield Fire Department, we may be required to replace it with that same vehicle. So that could be a negative.
It's not the flexibility that we need for our fire department.
It's not the same flexibility that we may experience when we're buying our own personal vehicles.
Thank you. It was brought up as a topic, so thank you for looking into that.
We're missing our chair. You get to take over.
I got you. Alderman McMenamin, anybody? Any other discussion?
Well, yeah, you know, Chief, I think you've tried to give us some good information here, and I know Director McCarty means well, but you were talking about 2 refurnished vehicles that had been refurnished recently, and then Mr. McCarty jumps in and says, well, wait a minute, we did a rebuild in 2016. I think that's going to be 7 years ago by the time we get through with this fiscal year 23 budget. So I just didn't want you to feel like you had, given us an incomplete picture, because I think you're kind of going off the current situation. But what I hear you saying is that we've got 9 daily use vehicles that are 15 years old or older, and that in the budget that we're just now ending, we had 2 vehicles for purchase that have not yet been delivered.
Correct.
And so you're saying that we're still short 7 if you want to try to take them out after 15 years.
All right. The reason we went with a 7-year plan is because you got 7 years and you got a gap year, and then you got 7 years and everything's with it. Because generally you're waiting a year, always in the lag of a year, in order to receive any piece of equipment like this. And yes, we have 9 pieces of frontline apparatus right now, out of 15 that are over 15 years old. 3 of those are refurbs. The 3 refurbs are engine 2, engine 3, and engine 9, and their ages are 2002, 1999, and 2001. So they have been refurbed. That does obviously, it definitely helps keep them in place. We purchased engine 9, refurbed, and it was one of those things where I think that this was under the Helmrichs administration. I had a different colored shirt on. I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes as far as getting that, but we were able to acquire a piece of apparatus that's been great for us and not had to wait a year and pay full price for that. So there's times and places and ways to plug holes, and we've done that for a number of years. And we're trying to put in place with something like this is possibly, you know, a little bit of an avenue to get away from plug and play quite as much. So I know it's expensive. I know it's a lot of money to ask for. And we're just trying to make sure that we're putting things into place so that down the road that we're in a little bit better position for apparatus-wise. We do have some plans. They were, Mike has worked on them relentlessly for the last couple weeks. We would be happy to get some of that information out to you. We'd like to polish it a little bit better. Right now, it's not exactly where we want it to be, but we're happy to send out some information to you. Like I said, this is the big ask, and if we decide that we're getting two, then we're getting two, whatever. But you know, the people sitting in front of me right now are the people that get to decide. You know, okay, we should allocate this towards this and this towards firehouses. I get that. So, but I wanted to give you what we believe gets us where we need to be the quickest and probably the most cost effectively.
And Chief, there's a difference between deadlining and being able to use those engines for trade-ins. Do we get, how much money would we get on a trade-in if we did it like that?
We don't get anything.
No, I mean, we sell them outright then? Or
literally the stuff that we replace we turn into our reserve fleet. And by the time that it's done with our reserve, I mean, the 3 that we just gave away, we just took out of the reserve fleet months ago. So they were still backup rigs and.
So there's nothing out.
This will create, if this is done, if you did something like this, and once again, I know this is a big ask, when you get to the end of our useful life for these, when we're replacing them more often, then you might have a piece of apparatus that's worth $200,000 or $300,000 when you trade it in. A truck, you might have something that's worth more than that. But right now, the stuff that we have is you give to Elizabethtown. Yeah.
Alderman Hanauer?
Look, I like the idea of the financing, I really do, but I want to caution everybody. We haven't seen the 3-year trend yet. We're sitting right now just with, and let's be honest, Chief, they didn't put in enough money into your overtime for next year. So we're sitting at 18.3% that we know of, and it's not been audited to where we know that that number may go down. And so we're going to have to put probably anywhere between $750,000 to $1 million into overtime. Now, whether we do it at the budget time or we do it after the budget, you're looking at almost a percent, probably about, what do you think, about 7.75%, you know, that we're going to continue to drop that fund balance down. And we keep dropping that fund balance down, and it doesn't take long to get to 15, 14 to where we're in trouble. And, you know, I want to do this, but my concern is in a couple years, if things go bad, a lot of us up here are if we're fortunate to get past next year, we're going to have to vote on something that isn't very popular, and that's a tax increase. So, you know, I realize you need the equipment. I'm very concerned about looking at our fund balance. I think that if we can do this maybe at a smaller scale or something where we can pay for this, because remember, we're going to have to put in, and that basically at 800,000. You said it's about 800
per year.
Per year,
probably in the nines.
Yeah.
By the time
so you're looking at $1 million extra a year, which 1.2 million right now is approximately 1% of our fund balance. So every year you're increasing our cost, you know, $800, $900 million. So I don't disagree. We need it. And I said before in this budget, we're spending a lot of money this year. I can't believe the amount of money we're spending. We're spending almost 2 years worth of money this year than what we've done in the past.
Past, yeah.
Alderman, I agree with you. I understand that. But the reason this whole discussion came up is because we went from maybe building 4 firehouses to maybe only building 2. And that's going to be a significant reduction in that $12 million that we have set aside. That's what we were looking at, maybe possibly using some of that money to get some new equipment for the fire department. So that's a different situation than adding to the budget. If we can figure that out, and that's between the chief and the mayor and Director McCarty. I mean, they're going to have to figure that out, because this is the year. If we're going to do it, this is the year to do it, because you're right. We don't know what the trend's going to turn, so we're buying squad cars. We need to buy some fire trucks. We need to build some firehouses, and we need to do that this year. We can't wait till next year.
Let's do it.
Alderman McMenamin was next, and then Alderman Donlin.
Yeah, we are in a sweet spot with our budget this year. I think it'll probably continue into a year from now. We got our treasurer's report tonight, and the most recent receipts, treasurer, I believe you were at $1.5 million for the most recent month, January, and then a year ago it had been $2 million. It had been $2 million less. I mean, our economy is doing really well right now, but then in addition to that, we'll get another $15 million of ARPA money in the coming year. So we've got a situation here that it's an opportunity. The way I see the equipment as a necessity. I think one firehouse is a necessity on 11th Street. Maybe a second firehouse is a necessity, but when you go to firehouse 3 and 4, that's like, it'd be nice to do. But I think the equipment is a necessity. As you've said, Chief, you fight fires with equipment. And that older equipment, it's got downtime. And I think you're aware of how much downtime you have with some of the older pieces. So, I mean, we're having a good discussion tonight, and I think our mayor, he's got some priorities he's taking care of in his office tonight, but he's listening. I believe he wanted to hear what kind of discussion we had, and he wants to, respond accordingly.
Well, if the mayor's listening, get your checkbook out, big boy. Alderman Donlin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Chief, I have worked with many fire chiefs over the years, and one of the arguments that I've heard time and time again is that we need to be on a regular replacement program so that they're all not getting old at the same time. One of the things that you're going to have to convince me, and maybe we're just so far behind we don't have a choice, but that number of vehicles, and I know it depends on where they're placed and the run usage and so forth, but one could argue that down the road they would all expire at the same time and we'd be in the same boat. But anyway, that's a conversation for a different day. I don't expect you to have a response to that. But I do have one final question of the budget director, if you could, Mr. McCarty. And I know you memorize these numbers in your sleep, so I can ask these without giving you a heads up. But roughly, how much is gross for the corporate fund? How much are the revenues this year being predicted? What is the amount?
The revenues?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'm talking revenues, not the use of fund balance.
Not the use, well, we only have, I think we have like 17 million? Yeah, not counting ARPA, I think we're using 17 million worth of fund balance, so subtract that from the 179, and then the ARPA minus the 22, so you're at, going to be 163, about 140 million.
Yeah, 140 million. What's the proposed expenditures?
The expenditures, 179 if you count the found balance stuff.
So,
but I will tell you, if you take away all the extra, take away the fund balance, take away the ARPA, take away the expenses, the one-time expenses, it's a balanced budget, if that's what you're getting at.
That's
it's
what
around
I am
140
getting at.
million.
You're going to have to convince me of that, because, what I'm getting at, everyone, is to Alderman Hanauer's point, I remember not even 4 years ago, sitting down, going through line by line in the budget, trying to find every nickel and dollar we could find.
It was awful.
Alderman McMenamin, I agree with you. The economy, I hope it's in good shape. I hope we're rolling. That seems to be somewhat the consensus that we're hearing. There are some concerns, however, out there, I know. But I think we need to be very careful about just spending a lot of money. Maybe we do some of these things or scale it down a little bit and just see how things go, and maybe even halfway through the year, we look at where we are, or even 3/4 of the year, or even wait till next year. But we got to be very careful, because I don't want us, and I know none of you do either, we don't need to be in that same position. It was not fun, it's not pleasant, and quite frankly, it is not fair to our citizens. So thank you.
To your point, a couple of responses. Number one, yes, Alderman Hanover's right. Probably we will end up doing more overtime because it will take so long to get, and he's probably right, it's probably $750,000 to $1 million. And I'll remind everyone that we don't have settled contract amounts that got to go in there. That will be significant. We also have the threat potentiality, if you'll remember the slideshow that we did to kick off, the potentiality, several economists think there might be a recession, which could have an adverse impact on revenues. And then the last thing I want to bring up is, please remember the second slide. It was one of the first slides in the, not counting the title, of the 5 factors that went into this. I forget the terminology, the alderman said, the sweet spot, I think, was the terminology. Of those 5 factors, 4 of them will not repeat. It'd be highly, highly unlikely. The only one of those factors that we are confident will repeat is the new law with online sales tax, and that bringing in several $1 million a year. So that we're confident in. But the other things are unknown, and some of them we know they won't repeat. Well, I think in my initial look at the next couple of years, I think we're okay. I don't expect you to be in a position where you're looking at tax increases or major cuts, depending on what goes in and what we spend. On the revenue side, we're going to be very conservative with what we give you, just in case we see some of those things not pan out like we hope.
And as you know, Alderman Donlin, you've been around a long time. This is, you always come in and ask for the Cadillacs, and if we cut back a little bit and have a compromise here, this is probably a good opportunity. None of us want to be put ourselves in a position next year to be in a bad financial situation. We don't want that. So I think that's a consensus around the horn.
One last question, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair. So we were going to we're paying for the firehouse as part ARPA, part fund balance, right?
As presented right now, $4 million and $8 million, yes.
Can fire trucks be bought out of ARPA?
Yes, they can if we use revenue replacement.
Okay.
And we've got $22.8 million in ARPA funds in this year's budget. You've already spent 1.4 for the fire restoration, another $300,000 for the Justine Peterson grant, and I think there might have been something else. So you still have several $1 million available if you wanted to use it for firehouses, fire equipment, police equipment, whatever the case may be.
Any further discussion on this? Thank you, Chief, for your input, and
Thanks for the discussion.
We'll go on. Is there any new business come before the committee?
Just kudos, Mr. Chair, to our public works and our private contractors that moved a lot of snow around last week. Getting a lot of compliments. There's some trouble spots out there, but I think overall the public was extraordinarily appreciative of the long hours that were spent clearing the roads.
Yeah, they did a good job. There's always some hot spots. Everybody knows that, but overall, that was a lot of snow. So I agree with you.
Actually, Chair.
Is there any
Chair?
citizens?
I just wanted to add to Alderman McMenamin, I actually, I did let Daryl know this, but on my way down, I returned a phone call from a constituent who wanted to just call and thank Public Works and show his appreciation for all the work they did over the snow. He said one of his good friends measured 12.2 inches over at his yard with all the blowing and the drifting and the freezing and the icing. So, again, Daryl and Nate, your crews were also much appreciated.
I agree, and this year I did get quite a few compliments on the same thing, that they did a good job, and so good job.
Got some complaints, but I wanted to share that.
Well, yeah, everybody got a few complaints. Some people just hot spots. Alderman Purchase. Alderwoman.
Yes. I wanted to echo as well, especially for our downtown businesses, Director Bottom and Director Harris, getting them out there right away to get the streets and the sidewalks cleared up. They were very appreciative of that. And then I hope that some of my colleagues will join me too this Friday. Last Friday, we had to reschedule for our first Fridays. It starts at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. downtown, and then if you still want to hang out even longer with me, you can meet me at Bus Bomb starting at 8 o'clock. So please join us downtown.
Thank you. Alderman Gregory.
No, I do. I compliment our team and Snow. I was out there and actually I compliment Mr. Bottom. He was out there with his wife and I may even heard a little one in the back, but he was out there checking the roads and making sure that he seen firsthand what was going on and stuff. So I compliment you. That's what directors have to do. My only couple things that we got to work that I think for the next big snow or whatever that we got to think about is what we do in the Harvard Park area on Yale. It's tight. We got that boulevard there, and I don't think we can get our trucks, but I think we can work with our communications team to really put out a targeted thing to say, hey, if we can, let's get our cars up on the thing so we can get through there. You know, I have a truck with a plow on it, and it was difficult for me to get through those tight streets. I think maybe the most complaints I think all of us probably had was on side streets. I think our what we did with our main streets and the streets that you guys pre-treated and stuff like that, it really worked. I think in our subdivisions at some points, even when we did go through, by the time we got there, it was so thick that our blades didn't get down to the point, and then it started melting. And a lot of people these days have cars that are economic friendly, lighten the butt, and they're not going to do much. So, we just got to wrap our heads around that. And I don't know if that's just, maybe trying to just go through there with some pre-treatment here or there if in event we get something like this ever again. But like I was telling people, the buses only stopped from my knowledge twice in the last 10 years, and this was one of them. So this was a big one. So kudos to you guys. Good job.
Thank you all very much. Our crews worked very hard. We had a great game plan going into it, and I appreciate all your support and patience during this time. And we'll continue. We're always continuously trying to improve, so we'll definitely take those issues into consideration.
How many of those trucks you want to get?
Any other comments from the alderman? Is there anybody scheduled to, anybody signed up to speak?
No, Mr. Chair.
Hold on, I'll get to you. Is there anyone from the audience that wants to speak to the council?
I think we have one at least.
We've got two.
You know, it's been a long time since I had to push cars out of snow, Usually my father would help me, but he's not around. But we had an emergency. My phone wasn't working, and my niece lives down south, and it was in the beginning of the snow really hard. 2 officers came to my house to see if we were okay, and they were very, very nice. And I told them I was sorry I didn't get out and shovel a spot for them to come in, and they started laughing. But I do know one thing. We have a good crew working, because I've seen some good snow pushers this time than I have ever seen before from Public Works. A lot of them got out, and we had somebody got stuck in our neighborhood, and all the neighbors came out to help put him in, because he's pretty elderly and not feeling good. And me, stupid me, out there in PJs and boots and coat,
I'll bet that was a sight.
My neighborhood's used to that, though. Anyway, I want to thank every one of you for being courtesy, being able to understand each and everyone's problems up here, and also putting it out in language that everybody can understand. Sometimes it's very hard to understand dividing 2 million into 2. It's pretty hard. But when you have people that does that, it's very nice. And also, everyone be curious. They all were really nice. The officers and the firemen, and I'm going to tell you something. If they fix the fire trucks, they better keep the one that stopped on a dime and gave 9 cents change at 9th and North Grand, because he did stop very fast, and that lady cut right in front of him. And that's why I want to know when you're going to put up the license plate cameras.
They're coming.
Oh, they're coming? Slow boat to China?
Pretty soon.
The slow boat to China.
Slow boat to China, they'll be here.
Okay. Thank you, guys, and have a beautiful night.
You too.
Reggie?
let's have some fun tonight. Real fun. I'm not doing too well, but I'm still sick. I don't have COVID, don't worry about it. I don't have flu, don't worry about it. But thanks to my friend right here, and thanks to the fire department. For the last 8 months, I've been going back and forth with the landlord. Some of the people's already inbox through Messenger. And I'm not feeling too well, and I don't like that, because I'm not breathing too well. The landlord, I'm not going to mention. The property management, I'm not going to mention. But I hope they're watching today, because my doctor is doing things that she don't need to be doing, period. What I mean by that is, by me sitting up there doing the research and giving it to my doctor, she's sitting up here emailing the landlord about my health. And my landlord stays in Arizona. He don't want to put no more money in that house, period. The last 3 weeks, nobody been there to pick up trash. I understand the when it snow, I excuse that. But 2 weeks before the snow, no garbage man. Second, the basement got mold in it. He know about it. When I calls him ahead of time, I had to wait 2 and 3 months ahead of time them to come out, but they never do. I'll take my extra money to go get the house fixed out of my pocket and send them a bill. They don't want to pay. I have my crew to come and help me to refurnish the house. Like I was telling them about the gas in the house. I was telling them about the carbon dioxide in the house. I was tested positive for carbon dioxide poisoning. And then I didn't sit up there. I was not even thinking about it. I was going to let it go. It took them, 14 days to bring a stove out to the house? Out to my house? And I told them about it. Oh, everybody in here got COVID. I said, why you didn't call me and let me know that? You didn't return my calls. Called them 10 times. Yeah, I screenshot it. Yeah, I did. I really did. And gave it to my doctor. And then when I came here to congratulate my buddy from retiring, my buddy told me what to do. I'm laying in the bed that morning, didn't even brush my teeth, wash my face, or nothing. I called Amron, asked him a question. Amron was out there in 25 minutes. Came out there and found carbon dioxide in the stove. Furnace was okay. Carbon dioxide in the water heater. Gas leaking in the water heater. They came out there and flagged it quick. They come back out there with Tom Scruder. He comes back out there and turn it on. Aaron come right back there and turn it up back off. And then I told the landlord, I told the property manager, and he gonna threaten me talking about, oh, if I send somebody over there, you gotta let him in. I said, no, I'm not, because I'm gonna call the police and have him escorted out off the premises. This man gonna tell me when he been in my house 4 times, he been calling, he's smelling carbon outside, and he didn't tell me. I could have lost my life in there. I'm like, no, you're not coming up in here. But we got a problem with the landlords, as well as the property management. Something needs to be done. Because right now, I can't even ride my bike more than a block. And I'm going to have to use my asthma. I got asthma. I ain't used my asthma for so many months or so many years. Now I got to wake up and use it before I go to bed, before I get up 2 and 3 times a day, riding my bike. I don't like that. Period. I hate the summer because I have heat strokes. My favorite season is the winter. When I have to get up and force myself to get up and go to work, I don't like that. When I have to get up into work and have a headache getting out of my bed, have to go out there and smell some fresh air to get rid of that headache, it's a problem. Really, it is. And something needs to be done about it. Because this landlord, I don't think he's going to put no more money in this house. Because right now I got everybody calling me every day, asking me what I'm doing. Do I want to move? No, I love the house. But if I had to choose to move, I'm going back to Ward 6 and Ward 8 area where my money can allow me to live in the beginning of the west side. But we need to sit down and talk to the landlords.
What you need to do, Reggie, is talk with Juan back
I
here.
sent one got back with me.
All right.
One did. He got back with me. A lot of people got back with me.
All right.
But the ideal is we got to sit down and figure out what we're going to do with these landlords. Because right now, I'm still dealing with carbon outside of my house. And I don't appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Reggie, that wasn't fun. You promised us a good time. We're sorry you're not feeling well.
We got you.
I know y'all do.
Thank you, Reggie.
You too.
Anyone else?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Hi.
Good night.